Thank you so much for joining us today on our
pleasure.
Episode of the Northern Stars political race. So you are running for re-election. So how do you enjoy being state's attorney?
It's a very difficult job. It's a lot of responsibility. I don't know if enjoy would be the right word right now. We have a lot going on. There's a lot of, I think we have more murders pending right now than ever in the history of the county. So it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of emotion for these families. It's a lot of difficult work. I enjoy it, I guess, in the sense of humbled by the responsibility that people have placed in me to prosecute these cases.
Well, so you say it takes a lot of work. What type of work do you need?
Generally speaking, my job is to run an office of 12 attorneys, and I have 8 staff, so I have 20 people that work for me. It's about a $1.7 million budget. My responsibility under the Illinois Constitution is to prosecute all the criminal cases in the county and to represent the county in any sort of civil litigation. So what I mean by a lot of work is each one of these cases that's filed, I think we have maybe 900,000 felonies we filed last year. All of those cases have to be prosecuted. Each one of those cases involves a police investigation. Once that investigation is complete, they turn over all the evidence that they obtained during the investigation, and then we go to court and then we prosecute the case. I'm on the Children's Advocacy Center Board. I'm the chairman of that, and we're responsible for ensuring that recordings of children that have been abused are done properly, so those recordings can be admissible in court. And I've had an ongoing discussion with the hierarchy at Northern for about 10 months now, trying to see if we can get a handle on this crime that seems to be, I wouldn't say epidemic. We seem to have some issues in regards to Northern being a place that attracts elements that like to carry guns and sell drugs. So we're trying to come up with some strategies to combat that.
Do you care to share any strategies that you have to improve to reduce the amount of crime NIU has seen in the past couple of months?
The strategy that we've been working on for some time is to try to come up with a task force of local police officers to see if we can focus our energy and our attention and our resources on these specific issues. We used to have a task force in the county, but it was disbanded some time ago because of some budgetary issues. I'm working hard to try to see if we can get that reinstated. It's a difficult process because some of the politics here locally, I feel, get in the way of people doing what they should do.
This task force that you're trying to get put back onto the streets, what exactly would their job entail? What would they have to do? We're
looking at trying to unify 5 or 6 officers, maybe 7 officers, and essentially they would be tasked to go after drug dealers and people bringing guns into the community. Essentially, you kind of create a SWAT team where these individuals are focused on very specific entities. Very specific individuals. Once we get intelligence that somebody's dealing drugs, or we get some heroin that we hear about, we have some guns that we've obtained through some arrest or some investigation. It's really important to focus attention on these particular entities as opposed to just having this broad law enforcement blanket that we use over everything. We can send a signal to all the criminals that want to come out here from Chicago and commit crime. And if you come out to DeKalb County, if you come out to Northern, you're going to face a formidable law enforcement presence. I just announced a program to try try to encourage individuals that get into trouble to participate in a GED program to see if we can get kids that get into trouble an opportunity to, if they enroll in this program and complete the program and actually get their diploma, then as state's attorney I would consider dismissing the charge against them. We've had an ongoing effort to try to get kids into the military, young kids that come into the system and get charged with a nonviolent offense. If they express an interest in going into the military, I've tried to encourage kids to go serve their country. And if they decide to do that, maybe I can accommodate them by dismissing the case that they have pending against them.
So, getting back to the election, say someone had no idea who was running and they just looked up all these names and you had to convince that person on why you should be reelected as state's attorney, what would you tell them?
I would say I've been practicing criminal law here in this county for 20 years. I graduated from Northern 20 years ago to law school, and I've been practicing criminal law here in the county, in DeKalb County, the entire time. This is what I do for a living. I eat, sleep, and breathe criminal law. I know the police officers in the county. I know the problems in the county. I know the gangs in the county. I know the drugs in the county. So I bring a breadth of experience that I think is simply unmatched if you compare my record to my opponents. I'm currently leading the prosecution of William Curl, who is accused of killing Antoinette Keller. I'm currently leading the prosecution of Mr. Trakill, who is accused of shooting Stephen Agee. And I'm currently also leading the prosecution of Jack McCullough, who is charged with the 1957 abduction and murder of Maria Ridolph. So I not only talk the talk, but I walk the walk.
What is something that the people of DeKalb can do to get involved in this upcoming election to help out, I guess, volunteer work type stuff?
The biggest thing that anybody can do in any election is just vote. I mean, generally speaking, we have a low turnout when you're talking a March 20th primary. I'd be pretty surprised if we got 25% of the vote. And all I would say to those students that are thinking of coming out and voting, number one, there's an awful lot of information online about the candidates. But number two, what I do has a direct interest on your safety. I mean, you really are going in and you're voting for individuals that are actually trying to keep you safe.
So, do you have any upcoming speeches?
I am speaking at the 23rd of March. It is an Egyptian theater forum for all the candidates. And I believe on March 8th, the League of Women Voters is having a forum over at the City of DeKalb chambers over there.
Well, I believe that's all the time that we have for today, but I would like to thank you very much for coming out and taking the time to do this interview with us here at the Northern Star.
It's my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
This has been another Political Race Moment by Megan Safely. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.